This is SportsCenter with Elle Duncan.
These are big facts. Welcome in. Good evening. Solo Dolo show for you. 60 minutes. We're going to get you ready for a little playoff hockey. PTI standing by. They'll be back to debate who had the more impressive weekend, Pacers or Nuggets, and some official dates for the NFL schedule, including Chiefs and Ravens. But we'll start in the NFL and some breaking news. Someone of having a resident former Detroit Lion quarterback when we've got big news about one. Dan Orlovsky joining the show. Why was it so important for the Lions to give this extension to Goff?
He's become a guy, and I'm so happy to have their quarterback that is the spearhead of their resurgence.
And also, he's like such the picture-perfect example of like giving people time to develop and grow and get better. He's also the guy that upset the Chiefs at Arrowhead to kick off last season. Certainly the Ravens hoping they can get a little bit of that going too, because the full NFL schedule
comes left. Also, their defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald, who's now the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, and with the Rashee Rice situation off the field impacting on the field. But the infusion of the vertical speed in their offense is only going to make the run game for them better and Travis Kelce's job easier. And I think because of that and some of the departures in Baltimore, I like the offseason that Kansas City's had.
Yeah, so does Vegas. Kansas City 6-1 odds to win it all. Second best behind only the team they literally just beat, which makes a ton of sense. San Francisco. Dan Orlovsky sticking around. He has a lot to work on. Twice, says Mayo. We bring in Dan Orlovsky. Be a little bit more specific. What area needs the most improvement for May right away?
He's got to start here. He's got to go from the ground up more. Two reasons why. Number one, big arms start to drive the football a little bit more on those 15 or 20-yard throws. He's such a young and talented player that sometimes you just get away with it. Once they really hones into that and uses the ground and plays from the ground up more, he'll take off.
Yeah, May's completion percentage dropped each of his last 3 years at UNC from 70% to 63%. But if anybody can turn this thing around, it's gonna be May.
All that I do.
Okay, well, we're gonna get in trouble. But I don't want to say boring, but I'm definitely gonna say boring.
It's the word I use all the time.
That's like a good thing?
Right. Absolutely. High-end quarterback play, unless you're a freakazoid athlete, is boring.
Okay.
And that's the thing. Sean Payton is spot on. For Bo Nix, it's ego. You know, when he and playing in that boring and being okay with it.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to do when the expectations are so high. 12th pick, you're going to a coach that took Drew Brees and won a Super Bowl with him, and everyone's saying, you're his Drew Brees. You know, honing in on the boring element of that and allowing that to be the trademark superpower of your game, which it is, that's going to carry him.
Nix is actually the only quarterback in FBS history to be responsible for 55 touchdowns at multiple schools and the first in history to make all 55 of them boring. Dan Orlovsky's never boring. Thank you, Dan. Well, that's not true. Sometimes you're boring, but not today.
Yeah, I am at times. Probably more often than not, to be honest with you.
Your food is. 3-2 as the series shifts back to Florida. The Panthers said, we think the call was good. And I'm Captain Obvious. See you tomorrow.